Hey, you. Yes, you. See all these wonderful people right here? They are my Patreons. With the support I get from them, I can afford to do my passion as a career and bring you guys weekly videos. Want to join them? For just $1 a month, you can get videos 24 hours before anyone else. And for even higher tiers, you can get Polaroids, letters, and mystery boxes from me to you. And even fursuit parts, not to mention my eternal thanks. So what are you waiting for? Become a Patreon today via the link in the description. Thanks again, enjoy the video.
Hey everyone, and welcome to this episode of A Maker's Guide. So, imagine, you've paid a maker a lot of money or put a lot of time into getting a fursuit and it's finally done. But now what? Well, today I'm going to go over Fursuiting 101 for you new and more experienced fursuiters out there so you can be ready and prepared for the next time you decide to suit up. So, first of all, you have to be prepared. Going out fursuiting without the proper preparation is just spelling disaster from the start. So before you suit up, make sure you have the following: a water bottle with a straw or sip lid, a brush for you and your suit, a hair tie for those with long hair, balaclava, Under Armour for those who full suit, badges, deodorant, and a handler. Having these things are essential to make sure you're comfortable and safe whilst fursuiting. A water bottle will keep you hydrated while suiting, which isn't really something that's optional unless death is the goal. A brush will keep your fursuit looking good, as well as a human brush for your hair afterwards, as I guarantee it will be messy. A hair tie will allow you to keep our long hair out of your face, even though it doesn't really do that too well with mine. Our balaclava will also help keep things out of the way and all of your sweat contained. Under Armour also helps with this as it keeps you cool and protects fursuits from water damage from your sweat. Your badges, so that when someone asks what your name is, you can show them your badges. Deodorant, because no one likes a musky husky. And finally, a handler to make sure you're safe and to explain what's going on to general members of the public. Now you've got everything ready, let's pack for our fursuit outing. So I recommend suitcases above all else. A hard suitcase will give your suit the best possible protection in your car and out in the wild. I'm not too fussed about squishing my fursuit, as foam tends to puff back up after being compressed for a while, so I squish all my fursuits into whatever size I can physically manage. But if you're worried, go for the biggest suitcase you can afford. Now, head out to your designated fursuiting area, whether it be a meet, a con, or your own place. Please note, if it's private property, including supermarkets, shopping centres, etc., you must call ahead to ask for permission, or expect to have the police called on you. So, you rock up at your location. First things first, you need to find a good place to suit up. Whether that be at your car or a public bathroom, find somewhere that's out of the way and out of the view of the general public. I recommend wearing your Under Armour underneath your street clothes so it's easier to get changed and you don't have to strip down to your undies. Get your handler to help you suit up and we are ready to rock and roll. Leave your bags somewhere safe or with your handler to haul around whilst you be a fluffy animal. Now you can head out and interact with the general public. Be sure to be polite and courteous, even in fursuit, as we want the general public to like us. So TLDR, don't be a dickhead. That means no glomping random members of the general public. Going places you shouldn't be. Stealing people's children. Forcing a presence where it isn't wanted, and many more. Just do your own thing, have fun, but don't be a prick about it. Let people approach you rather than approaching them. Be a wallflower and let people do what they're comfortable with. If they have any questions, let your handler answer them for you, as well as to help divert any troublesome people away from you, e.g. drunks, Karens, or children with dirty hands. Keep a very close eye on your body. It tells you more than you think. Be sure to take in plenty of fluids, and if you start to show any of the following symptoms, goosebumps, faintness, dizziness, fatigue, muscle cramps, and nausea, desuit as soon as possible, as this is a sign of heat exhaustion, a precursor to heat stroke which can be fatal. Since heat stroke is such an occupational hazard when you're a fursuiter, let's run through some heat stroke first aid. So you'll know you've gone past the point of heat exhaustion and into heat stroke when you experience the following symptoms: throbbing headache, you're not sweating anymore, red hot skin, strong rapid pulse, or threatening loss of consciousness. So what do you do? Well, for heat exhaustion, take off your suit. You want to get yourself to a cool place, drink some water, ideally with electrolytes like Powerade or Gatorade. Lie down with your feet elevated slightly and spray or rub water onto your body to help yourself cool down. If it has gotten past that point and you suspect you are having heat stroke, call an ambulance immediately, as this can be life-threatening. Remove any excess clothing and cool the person down with whatever means possible. Wet towels or clothing, spray with a hose or bottle, and put ice packs in the armpits neck and groin area until the paramedics arrive. But ideally we want to stop suiting before it gets to that point, so listen to your body, especially to your energy levels and heart rate. I know fursuiting is fun, but being in hospital is less so. So please stop if you need to, if not for yourself, do it for me. Please don't hurt yourselves by being silly. I'll use an example to explain why overexertion is a bad idea. I was at a meet one time and there was a new fursuiter who was visiting from out of town. They suited up around 4 p.m. and I hardly saw them take their suit off until around 8 p.m. when I returned from the fursuit walk to see them lying on the ground surrounded by admins calling paramedics to take him to hospital, as he started fading in and out of consciousness. That whole time he was running around and I don't even think I saw him drink once. They came out of it relatively unscathed, ego excluded. Generally, my rule of thumb is a break every 30 minutes if you can. That means taking off your head, having a big drink of water and a sit down. As you fursuit, you'll get a better understanding of your limits and what you can and can't do in suit. So take it easy your first handful of times to avoid death. Alright, let's cover some fursuit outing good to knows. First one, never hold a baby. Never ever hold a child or baby. Fursuits don't have that great dexterity and fur is slippery. If you drop a child, you will have one angry mother to deal with. So no matter how much they insist, do not hold the crotch spawn. Secondly, always listen to the authorities. This includes police and security guards. Comply with all requests to avoid force being used. So when someone asks you to take off your head, you do it. Fuck the magic. No questions asked. Thirdly, always ask if you can take photos of the general members of the public, as you've got to make sure all consent to having their pictures taken, especially if you're going to post it anywhere online. Fourthly, when suiting around children, please always be careful, as you can't really see them in fursuit and you run the risk of tripping them or kicking them accidentally. And again, you don't want to deal with the angry parents. And lastly, if you ever feel uncomfortable or that you are unsafe, take off your head. This usually reminds people that you're not a giant toy, but rather an actual human, and will more often than not dispel any unfortunate conflicts that happen to arise. Then you can also speak for yourself rather than have your handler speak for you. Also, please remember to walk away from any negative people you may encounter. You don't want to end up on the local news.
Hi, welcome to the 6 o'clock news. I'm your news anchor, Keith Meath. This just in, altercation between an animal costume performer and intoxicated pensioner. Our reporter, Fake It Nightly, is on the scene. Over to you, Faye.
Thanks, Keith. The incident occurred around 3 p.m. last night in this local park in Geelong, Victoria. The woman, who was wearing a giant mascot wolf costume, was accused of tripping a toddler whilst he was playing in the park. The altercation that followed was between the woman and the toddler's pensioner grandfather. Police were called to the scene by concerned residents after a verbal fight broke out and the man started damaging the woman's costume.
Yeah, I don't reckon those flurbies or whatever they're called should be out in public, you know? Keep your weird sex costumes to your house, not anywhere near me ankle biters. Streptococcus got 'em.
Both parties were arrested, however later released with no charges pressed. Back to you, Keith. You don't want that to be you, do you? Thought not. Now let's talk post-suiting. Quickly and swiftly make your way back to the changing area, making sure that no children or enthusiastic picture wanters are following you, and take off your suit. Have a good drink of water and a rest. You deserved it. It's my personal tradition to get some food after I suit. It helps get my energy levels back. If I have a particularly heat stress inducing fursuit, however, I tend to lay off the food as it can make me feel a bit sick. A good rest would still do you good before heading back home. Get some fresh air, water and a good sit down. When you get back home, be sure to air and brush out your suit to keep it looking and smelling excellent. Spray with fursuit spray if you have it, or give it a wash if it were a particularly sweaty suit. And you did it! You survived your first fursuit outing! Congratulations! Did I miss anything in my little guide of mine? I respond back to all comments within the first 2 hours of the video going public, so I will see you down there quite shortly, and I will see you this time next week. Goodbye, everyone. Come on. Lick.